Hello, it is 9 p.m. at this time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the arrivals of the head of state in Tanzania to participate in the African Energy Summit. The Djibouti celebrates the religious festival of Isra wal Mi'raj. For the international scene, Palestinians return to the north of the country. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, arrived this afternoon in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, to take part in the work of the Mission 300 Summit of Head of State and Government, which will be held tomorrow in Dar es Salaam. This summit is an opportunity for African leaders and representatives of clean energy organizations to address key issues, including programs to improve access to electricity, promote private investment in the African energy sector, and establish synergies between digital access and green energy services. During this Mission 300 Summit, African leaders are expected to sign the Dar es Salaam Declarations on Clean Energy, in which they will commit to guarantee universal access to green energy. More than 1,000 participants, including head of state such as the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, who is heading a strong delegations, will be taking part in the summit, as well as representatives of the private sectors and energy professionals. Discussions will also focus on the role of private investment in the African energy sector in providing access to affordable and sustainable electricity for 300 million people living in Africa by 2030. The celebrations of Isra wal Mi'raj in Djibouti, a night of spirituality and reflections following the example of other Muslim countries. Djibouti celebrates the religious festival of Isra wal Mi'raj last night, marked by a long period of meditations, prayers, and spirituality, both in the capital and through the country's inland regions. Isra wal Mi'raj is one of the holiest occasions in the Muslim world, a night of particular significance in the history of Islam. In recognition of this importance, Djibouti has chosen to dedicate this day to the celebrations of this monumental event, making it a national holiday. This night, commemorated every year by Muslims, is one of the greatest manifestations of the miracles of the Prophet, peace be upon him. On the 27th night of the month of Rajab, the Prophet was miraculously taken from the sacred mosques in Mecca to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. He was then ascended to the heaven, standing before his Lord to receive divine blessings that had a profound impact on both his life and that of the Islamic community. International Turkish Language Day was celebrated today under the auspices of His Excellency the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, and the Turkish Ambassador, Mr. Erdal Sabri Ergen. The event took place at the CFN Omar Guelleh Ahmed in the presence of the Secretary General of MENFOP, Mohammed Abdallah Mahyoub, the Director General of the Ma'arif School Foundations in Djibouti, the Director General of CFN, Ms. Nema Hassan, the trainers and the beneficiaries. The ceremony began with the national anthems of Djibouti and Turkey, symbolizing the friendship and cooperation between the two nations, followed by a timed video presenting the cultures of Turkey in Djibouti. The Managing Director of CFN warmly thanked all those present. She underlined the importance of this day, which marks the She underlined the importance of this day, which marks the end of the first Turkish language training sessions for secondary school students. The Director General of Maarif School Foundation in Djibouti then took the floor. He stressed the importance of learning Turkish for young people. He also expressed his wish to pursue initiatives to teach the languages. The Turkish ambassador to Djibouti took the floor. Reinforcing the cultural and educational links between the two countries, he highlighted effort to promote the Turkish languages and encourage exchanges. He thanked the Minister of National Education for his vision and support, and the director of CFM for bringing these programs to the premises. For his part, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Muhammad Mahmoud, praised this educational initiative for its openness to culture and dialogue between cultures. This wealth and far from being a mere heritage, is a strength, an asset for building a nation capable of dialogue with the world and integrating into the global economy. The Secretary General of the Education, Muhammad Abdullah Mahyoub, visited the Basic Education Teacher Training Center on Saturday, where the writing tests for the recruitment of deputy headmasters, head teachers of middle and secondary school were being held. The Secretary General and the Director General of the Basic Education Teacher Training Center, for Ms. Nim'a, together supervised the smooth running of the writing tests. The Secretary General was entirely satisfied with his visit. As the tests went according to plan, a total of 144 candidates were selected to compete for 23 positions of deputy head teachers. The successful candidate will receive 6 months of theoretical and practical trainings, be undergoing a final skills assessment. In the past, the deputy head teachers were appointed by memorandum. MENFOB has decided to change the paradigms and promote a culture of merit and competence. As a result, a competitive examinations for recruitment of deputy head teachers of middle and secondary school has been introduced. This competition was opened under certain conditions and criteria aimed at the quest for quality in teaching and learning. In an exclusive statement on national television, the Palestinian ambassador to Djibouti, Dr. Raid Abu Amshah, stressed that the need to continue the trust in Gaza in order to put an end to the suffering of the Palestinian people, which has lasted for more than a year. He called on the international community to support the cessation of hostility and put an end to the war against the Palestinian people as a whole. He also stressed the importance of full implementations of resolutions 2735 to enable the immediate launch of the humanitarian operations and the reconstructions of the destructions caused by the Israeli aggressions on the Gaza Strip, which has caused considerable damage, with the aim of making Gaza an unlivable zone. With regard to the future prospect of the Palestinian cause, the Palestinian diplomat expressed his hope of putting an end to the war of extermination waged by the Israeli occupation against the Palestinian people, stressing that the solution lies in examining the roots of the problems, which has lasted for more than 76 years. In this context, Ambassador Ruaid Abu Amshah also expressed his hope that the new American administrations would take a stand in favor of international law and international legal resolutions, and that there would be no plans to liquidate the Palestinian cause. He added the international community must therefore focus all its efforts on resolving the Palestinian cause, which requires granting the Palestinian people their legitimate rights entirely, including the creation of the Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital. In another context, the Palestinian ambassador to Djibouti held the Republic of Djibouti's firm and unwavering stance in support of the Palestinian cause. He expressed his sincere thanks to the highest political leadership represented by the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, and to all the people, the Djiboutian people, for their unfailing support, which consolidates the efforts of the Palestinian people in their quest for justice. The ambassador recalled Djibouti's constant commitment to defending the Palestinian cause on the international and regional stages. The Palestinian diplomat underlined Djibouti's strong support for the Palestinian people's legitimate right to self-determination, in particular through the creation of their own independent state. This position, he said, was a fundamental principle guiding Djibouti's foreign policy. He added, from the very first hours of the Israeli aggressions against the Gaza Strip, Djibouti demonstrated an exemplary clarity of positions. Indeed, the country was one of the 5 nations to refer the matter to the International Criminal Court, calling for an investigation into the event in Palestine. This initiative led to the issuance of an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. In conclusion, his statement, the ambassador again expressed his sincere gratitude on behalf of the Palestinian People's Authority, as well as on his own behalf, to His Excellency the President of the Republic, to the Djiboutian government, to the Djiboutian people, for their constant and genuine support for the noble Palestinian cause. Heading towards in the Middle East, Gazans are returning to their homes on foot along the Al-Rashid coastal road. Thousands of Palestinians began returning to the north of the Gaza Strip on Monday mornings as part of the ceasefires to come into force on 19 January, according to witnesses on the ground from 7 a.m. local times. Thousands of people set off on foot along the Al-Rashid coastal road towards the north of Gaza. Palestinian activists on social networks shared videos showing residents singing and celebrating their return. Travel to northern Gaza was authorized on foot but not by vehicles via the coastal road from 7 a.m. The military offensive launched by Israel since 7 October 2023 in the besieged Gaza Strip has claimed at least 47,280 lives, the majority of them civilians, according to data from the Ministry of Health. On Sunday, the Palestinian presidency firmly rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal to displace Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, describing the ideas as a flagrant violations of the red lines. According to the Palestinian news agency Wafa, the presidency stressed that the Palestinian people will never abandon their land and their holy places, and we will not allow a repeat of the catastrophes Nakba of in 1948 and in 1967. So our people will remain steadfast and will not leave their homeland. Describing Gaza as a demolition site, Trump called on Saturday for the disaster striking enclave to be cleaned up and for Palestinians to be resettled in Jordan and Egypt. I would rather work with some of Arab nations and build houses in different places where maybe they can live in peace. For a change, Donald Trump told reporters about Air Force One. We are talking about probably millions and half people, and we can just clean that up and say that is it, we are done. He added, this proposal comes a week after a ceasefire agreement came into force in the Gaza Strip on 19 January, suspending the genocidal war that Israel has been waging since 7 October 2023, and which has killed more than 47,300 Palestinians, the majority of them women and children, and wounded more than 111,400 others. The Israeli attacks have left more than 11,000 people missing, causing massive destructions, and provoked one of the world's worst humanitarian disasters. The festivity in honor of the Har Isa ended on a high note with a concert of worthy of the name, featuring a number of renowned artists, including Awali Aden, who waived her decision to stop singing for one simple reason: the recognition of the Har Isa as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The folk group and dancer were not to be outdone, and I would leave you to follow their performances.
Ligu maanta way isbedelay hel yaro warmahina laga waasho idaweeye markay xeerkii adduunyadayo harimaadehana haaban xubnaha inesko ay baadheene harimaadehana haaban khabiiro xeldheeri eegeene harimaadehana haaban xaqiiqdii waa la aqoonsadayo harimaadehana haaban ubays abxur malaytuma oo harimaadehana haaban ubays abxur malaytuma markay xeerkii adduunyadayo harimaadehana haaban xubnaha inesko ay baadheene harimaadehana haaban khabiiro xeldheeri eegeene harimaadehana haaban.
Before leaving for Djibouti, as is customary, the Djibouti delegation meet the Ogas of the Isa community. The meeting with the king of Isa took place as the residents. The women from the Djibouti delegation who had come to take part in this festivity had this honor. It was a meeting with invocations were made to the Almighty to ensure that peace, prosperity, and development reign in our region. This morning, the town of Obok welcomed a delegation from the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity led by Ulufa Ismail Abdo. In the early hours of the morning, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity led by Ulufa Ismail Abdo inaugurated a completely refurbished community day nursery at Fantehiru on the outskirts of Obok, welcomed on site by the local authorities, including the prefect Musa Adan Migane, the president of the regional council, Mohammed Ismail, the region's member of parliament. The ceremony mobilized the population of Fantehiru for this event. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, led by Ulufa Ismail Abdo, immediately inaugurated the community nursery built by ADDS as part of the community-led development program. This long-awaited renovation marks a turning point in the improvement of educational and social services for young children. This refurbished facility designated to cater for children from an early age will provide a safe and stimulating space for their development.
وزارتنا انتم للشعب حاضر في شؤون الاجتماعي دائما الشعب عند المخاطر بالخير
إني أكل ساكنتي جرانمي نتم يتمي في إسماعيل كنهي.
The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, spoke at the ceremony, saying that the event embodies the authorities' commitment to promoting social inclusion and improving access to education in all areas. Following this, the Minister for Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, visited the area commonly known as Cité Pnid to inaugurate a new shopping arcade. The local authorities and the population once again rallied around to welcome the minister to the inauguration site. The inauguration of the town's new shopping mall was a landmark event for the residents who enthusiastically welcomed these new commercial structures right in the heart of their community. The project, which has been carefully thought through and awaited for several months, aims to boost the local economy by providing a modern, accessible space for retailers and shoppers alike. With its wide ranges of shops, the mall is destined to quickly become an essential meeting point for the residents of Obok. The shopping mall is much more than just a place to shop. It will become a veritable nerve center for the town. It meets an essential need to enable residents to find a wide range of products and services close to home without having to travel to the capital. Small local businesses will thus benefit from a framework that will attract a wider range of customers and boost their businesses. The Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity is creating essential infrastructure for the community. It was with this in mind that the Minister Ulufa Ismail Abdo visited the site on the future administration buildings in the town of Center once the work is completed. Continuing her activities on Sunday, January, the Minister Ulufa Ismail Abdo inaugurated a laser park and playgrounds in the town of Obok, a 3,500 meter square multi-services laser park comprising a restaurant, a 140 meter square space for ceremonies, a petanque pitch, a handball court, a shop, and a children's play area. This project is part of the regional development programs implemented by ADDS. The center will be a meeting place for the town's residents and will also create a number of jobs for young people in Obok. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, said that directly to represent their concern, the residents of their chief and its surrounding first expressed their gratitude for all the achievement made in the city of Obok. As part of the National Solidarity Week in Obok, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, visited the Markazi refugee camp late yesterday, accompanied by the prefect of the Obok region, Musa Adam Migane. The parliamentary of the region is Isa Muhammad, Fatuma Muhammad, and the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, was welcomed by the camp's refugees. The Yemeni refugees who have been here since 2050 also need our solidarity. It was with this in mind that the minister spoke to the refugee who thanked her for coming to meet them. As part of the National Solidarity Week in Obok, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, visited the Markazi camp, refugee camp, yesterday, accompanied by the prefect of the Obok region, Musa Adam Migane, and the parliamentary Isa Muhammad, Fatuma Muhammad. The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, was welcomed by the camp refugee. The Yemeni refugees who have been here since 2015 also needs our solidarity. It was with this in mind that the minister spoke to the refugee who thanked her for coming to meet them. For the international scene, the deadline for the withdrawal of Israeli forces from southern Lebanon expired today, Sunday, 60 days after the ceasefires with the Hezbollah came into force. The Israeli army opened fires on Sunday on residents of southern Lebanon who were trying to return to their villages in their hundreds, killing 11 people and wounding 83, according to a new report from the Lebanese Ministry of Health. According to the ministry, the Israeli enemy attacks on citizens attempting to return to their villages, which are still under occupation, left 11 people dead, including a Lebanese army soldiers and 2 women, and 83 injured. The ministry had previously reported 3 deaths. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.